Hello, it's Rachel Williamson, and today I am doing a solo podcast in my office in the middle of a few other things, but just had some important things to share for my retail friends out there and thought that I would just go ahead and get that going today. So let me ask you a question. Why is it that two stores in the same company, same product, same brand, same strategy can perform completely differently? One store is strong, it has a great team, strong execution, great customer experience, and the other store just isn't strong. Today I want to talk about why that happens because it's not what most people think, and more importantly, what actually fixes it. So let's start. Let's talk about the reality of retail. I am in stores all the time, as you can imagine, as a retail consultant. And most organizations believe if we have the right product, the right marketing, the right strategy, then stores will perform consistently. But they don't, and here's why. Retail is not executed at the corporate level. Those wonderful headquarter offices that have all the smart people sitting in them, all the executives, it is actually not executed there. Retail is executed inside the brick and mortar store. And in the store, you're dealing with turnover, new employees constantly learning, store managers trying to lead teams, district managers trying to manage multiple locations. So even though everything looks the same on paper, the reality is inside each store, it is completely different. Now, there's a fun story that I've shared before that I'll share really quickly, and that is when I was the vice president of store operations at Justice. We had an amazing CEO, one of the best guys I've ever worked with. And I remember wanting to get some automated scheduling into our stores. When you combined Limited 2 and Justice, we had close to 1,000 stores. And so I had met with some vendors, found a vendor that I was very excited about that thought wouldn't be over-engineered for a brand that ran on minimum coverage most days. And so I sat down with our CEO and he said that the stores are all the same. They're busy on Saturday, they're dead on Tuesday. They're all the same. And so I was like, if I can come back with some more data, like, can I put another meeting on our calendar? And he's like, oh, of course. So I worked with a scheduling partner and finance partner inside the building, and we put together a slide deck that represented the traffic patterns and sales patterns of every one of our stores in the fleet. As you can imagine, this was quite a big PowerPoint deck. But I was able to get a meeting scheduled with him and sit in the boardroom, connect my laptop to the big screen, and start talking about stores and schedules and why we needed them and what it could save us in volume, in sales, not by cutting hours, but what it would save us in sales by putting the right payroll in the right stores at the right time. So we started clicking through, and he was like, they're all the same, they're all the same. But as we clicked through, we did start to notice that there are more variances than he realized across stores. And by the end of our time together, he agreed that it would probably be beneficial for us to use some scheduling software to ensure we were scheduling right people, right place, right time. We in fact did that, and fast forward, we saved over $5 million the first year. Again, not by cutting payroll, but by maximizing the payroll in stores. You know, we had stores that were scheduling to people's availability and not stores that are scheduling to the needs of the business. Now, maybe that's really familiar to you. Maybe you're saying, yeah, my availability is what it is and it's the team I have and what have you. I will tell you that when we can schedule to the needs of the business rather than to our team's availability, it makes an enormous discount. Listen to me. It makes an enormous difference. When we're thinking about another example, I was working with a district where One store in the district was performing really well. The team was super engaged, the execution was strong, and the customer experience felt right. And then I walked into another store in the same district, same brand, same product, same expectations. I mean, they have the same leader, right? And a completely different experience. The district manager looked at me and said, I don't understand it. It's the same playbook. They sit on the same weekly calls. We talk about the same things during visits. And that's the moment where this really clicked. It's not a strategy issue. It is a leadership issue. And one store manager was reinforcing the right behaviors every day. The other one wasn't. So what's the real problem? Let's say this clearly. Not a product, not a marketing, and not even a turnover problem. It is a leadership development problem. Because here's what happens. Most store managers are promoted because they were great associates, great sellers, reliable, looked the part, right? Reflected the brand well. But no one actually taught them how to hire intentionally, how to coach consistently, how to develop a team, and how to connect behaviors to results. So now you have leaders who are running stores without the tools to lead. And when execution is inconsistent, and your results will always vary. This is where a lot of companies go wrong, right? When performance is inconsistent, they respond with more strategy, more initiatives, or more training. But none of that fixes the root cause of the issue. Because the problem isn't what the strategy is. The problem is whether it's being consistently executed every day in every store. And that comes down to what leaders are doing daily, not what they were taught once. So what does actually work? Well, not more content and not more programs. What works is this: consistent leadership behaviors, repeated daily, reinforced consistently across every store. This is the foundation behind my book, 30 Days to Running Great Stores. You can see them on the shelf behind me. It's not meant to be read once and put on a shelf. It's meant to be used, one behavior at a time. Because when leaders focus on one thing, practice it, reinforce it, their district manager reinforces it again, this is when teams start to change. And that's when execution becomes consistent. And that is when results start to follow. So let's make this real. Instead of telling a store manager, we need to improve performance. You've got a sales plan to make. We have 2 weeks left. You need to do X amount. I need you to go do it. Instead, what you say is, this week, we're focusing on coaching every team member once. That's it. That's what we're going to talk about this week. We know we have a sales plan. We know we have numbers we need to hit. But in order to hit those numbers, we need to see a change in behaviors. So we're focusing on every team member, one-time coaching. That's it. Then the manager goes and practices it, the district manager reinforces it, and the team starts to feel it. And over time, that behavior becomes the standard. Now multiply that across stores. That, my friends, is how consistency is built. So if you're looking at your stores and wondering, why aren't they consistent? The answer is not more strategy. It's not more conference calls telling them what to do. It's more consistent leadership. Coach on one thing, one behavior, reinforce it, recognize it, reward it, and watch it get repeated. Great stores are not built by chance. They're built one leader, one behavior, one day at a time. Now, if this resonates with you, I'd love to hear what you're seeing in stores, so make sure you send a comment over to me. If you're working on developing your store leaders, that is exactly why I wrote my book, 30 Days to Running Great Stores, Amazon #1 bestseller. I also have a free implementation guide that helps you work to implement it. Whether you're a district manager, a regional manager, whether you're a business owner, these are adapted specifically to your challenges and your needs. Thanks for listening to the Running Great Stores podcast, and I'll see you next time.